Well, by now you know there was an attempt made on President Trump's life, so let's just get into it. From the Daily Wire, AP reports that a local police officer retreated after would-be Trump assassin pointed pew-pew at him. Let's just take this at face value, okay? And let's just say that what the AP reported on is true, because this really begs hundreds of more questions. A local police officer retreated after the man who attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump pointed his pew-pew at him, the Associated Press reported Sunday afternoon. An anonymous source told the AP that the shooter, the 21-year-old loser, pointed his pew-pew at the police officer who was climbing up a ladder to confront him. After the police officer climbed back down, the loser quickly fired at Trump and was then deleted by Secret Service sniper. So this is how I'm reading this, and if I'm getting this wrong, please let me know in the comments below. It sounds like a police officer was going up a ladder to get to the roof where the loser was, and when the loser pointed his pew-pew at the officer, as the story says, retreated. Here's my question. You don't have a radio on you? You couldn't call anyone? You couldn't call for backup? Are they on a different wavelength? I don't know. You just climbed back down and did what? Went to get a hot dog? I don't understand. Did you take, clearly he took the threat seriously. He climbed up the ladder. Now, as the gun is pointed at him, he knows there's a real threat. You just climbed back down and did what? Did you make a call? Like did you get on your radio right away? Bomb-making materials were also discovered in the loser's vehicle and home at Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. An AR-15 style pew-pew the loser used was purchased by his father about 6 months ago, law enforcement officials told the AP. The loser, who was not carrying an ID, was identified through DNA, according to the FBI. Quote, "We do not currently have an identified motive," said FBI Pittsburgh Special Agent Kevin Rojak in a briefing on Saturday night. "We do not currently have an identified motive." Really? You don't know why he did it. You are completely baffled. You don't know where this guy is, why this guy is doing this. You're at a rally with the GOP frontrunner. He's talking about politics and policy, but you don't know what the motive was of the would-be assassin. You can't put it together. It baffles your mind. With all the resources that the FBI has, they have yet to come up with a motive. They really don't know why he's doing this. Is he just a disgruntled employee from the local I don't know, post office? Is he a disgruntled employee of one of Trump's hotels? We really don't know. We just can't put this together. Says the FBI. We don't know what motive he had. We were really trying to piece it together. Good God. The FBI and local law enforcement told reporters that questions about the security lapses should be directed to the Secret Service, which failed to show up to the briefing. So, once again, if the AP is correct and Secret Service never showed up to the briefing, why not? By the way, And even if, let's say, okay, well, they didn't show up, why did you have it without them? Because see, this doesn't make any sense. They conduct the initial site survey. Well, if they're the ones that conduct the initial site survey, how can you have the meeting without them? It seems to me that if it's Secret Service, then they are integral to the actual, well, meeting. Quote, they do the initial security assessments and determine where the different security locations should be. And they're the ones who are in charge of securing the scene. We, along with other state and local assets, are there to support the Secret Service and their mission. Okay, well then, why did you continue to have a meeting without them there? That doesn't make any sense. On one level, you're pointing at them saying that, well, they're the ones they're apparently they're the ones that do the initial security assessment. They determine where the different security locations should be. All of the important stuff is done by the Secret Service, yet you had the meeting without them present. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, well, you know, the CEO really makes the bottom line, the bottom line calls, and the CEO really sets the pace. And, you know, well, the CEO didn't really show up at the meeting, so we had the meeting without him. Well, then how do you know what to do? How do you know what to do? Which would actually answer the question, how in the world is there a rooftop not less than 200 yards away, completely vacant? It gets worse. It gets way worse. The loser's father told CNN that he was trying to understand what the hell is going on and would wait to speak to law enforcement before commenting. A blockade was at the place near the loser's home, preventing traffic and the media for blah, blah, blah. Okay. Though the loser is registered Republican, campaign finance reports show he donated $15 to a progressive PAC on the day President Joe Biden was inaugurated. So he's a registered Republican who gave money to Joe Biden. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you remember all of the guys from the Lincoln Project, all of these so-called Republicans like Adam Kissinger and Liz Cheney, all of these people that are supposed to be Republicans, and all of a sudden they're all supporting Joe Biden now. Even now, they're still supporting Joe Biden. And this is the question you got to ask those people. Hey, Adam Kissinger. Hey, Liz Cheney. You guys are, you know, Republicans. Ostensibly, you want less government. You want lower taxes. You want secure borders. You want minimum foreign wars. You would like to utilize our own resources. Ostensibly, you're a Republican, so those are the things that you would stand for. You would stand for family, tradition, and thus and so on. But now, Joe Biden, who's the epitome of the opposite of everything a Republican would stand for, now you support him. So you just threw all of that other stuff, a secure border, a lower government, a smaller government. You just threw all that stuff away. Lower taxes, more manufacturing here, slapping tariffs on China, all of that stuff that you are for as a Republican, all of a sudden now you're just not now. You just now I just don't care about that stuff anymore. I really love Joe. Really. See, that's how you know. That's the reason we call them rhinos. Now, listen to this, because this just gets to me.
Some rally attendees say they tried to warn police after spotting the suspect.
There's a guy on the roof with a rifle, and the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on.
Some rally attendees say they tried to warn police after spotting the suspect.
There's a guy on the roof with a rifle, and the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on.
Some rally attendees say they tried to warn police after spotting the suspect.
There's a guy on the roof with a rifle, and the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on.
Some rally.
How is it that this guy sees him? A bunch of other witnesses, by the way, see him, but the police officers can't. They're walking around oblivious. What about, I don't know, Secret Service? If this guy saw him, and this is what he says.
Say they tried to warn police after spotting the suspect.
There's a guy on the roof with a rifle, and the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on.
Some rally.
So how does that happen? No, once again, I'm not making assertions. I'm just asking a question. How is it that guy knew, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a gun? You try to tell someone, and the officer, I don't understand, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's not the only one. There were multiple people who saw it, who have him on their camera. And then we come to this, and this just really, these two people need to be investigated at a bare minimum. Mayorkas denied more Secret Service to Donald Trump, and Trump's, he made the requests multiple times, and multiple times Mayorkas absolutely denied him. It could be that the Secret Service is just, I don't know, stretched thin, that Trump's detail is stretched thin. It's possible. But the guy you see on the right, Benny Thompson, he is anti-American. He is the epitome of everything that is wrong with this country. He submitted legislation to strip President Trump of Secret Service. He's the guy trying to strip him of his Secret Service if he was indicted, or not indicted, but if he was ever convicted, which of course he was, which would be, at least for this piece of garbage, a trigger to get rid of all of his Secret Service. Imagine what would have happened then. There were multiple shots heard. I'm sure you've all seen the video by now. These two men, they have to be brought up before Congress. And they really need to start explaining themselves. Just tell the American people why you are so willing to put President Trump's life at risk. Look, I really believe that the reason that President Trump is still with us is because God protected him. Now, some of you, I know there are atheists out there, and some atheists on my channel, and I understand. Oh, that's ridiculous. It was just happenstance. Okay. But the very fact that Trump is still with us, that he is defiantly make America great again, you can just start the inauguration now. That's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.